Alright everyone, here is Uthiru, but let me show you something real quick before we drive to the town center. This is the Great North Road. If you decide to go this way, it can take you all the way to Egypt, through Kampala, Uganda, South Sudan, and Sudan. It also goes to the western part of Kenya. And about 2 kilometers from here, you can see those tall buildings. That is Kino. It is also good to know that this bridge also serves as the boundary between Kiambu and Nairobi counties. So on this side is Kiambu County. Let me take you to Nairobi side. So this is Nairobi County. And actually 2 kilometers from here, there's a small town called Kangemi. While Nairobi city is also about 10 kilometers this way. Well, behind those tall trees, that's the famous Kabete police station. And I'll also be taking you to Kabete National Polytechnic, which is right there. Okay everyone, I'm right in Uthiru Shopping Center, and I want to drive around. I want to see the town. I will also be visiting some government institutions nearby, so stick around. And if you happen to be new here, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, Village to Town TV, a channel that is dedicated to continue showcasing beautiful villages, towns, and cities across the continent of Africa. Well, Uthiru is just a small town, but it's quite popular, which is in Kabete constituency, in Kiambu County. Although we can say that some parts are in Nairobi. And in fact, this very road, just like the bridge where we started the video, serves as the border between the two counties. On my left is Kiambu County, while on my right is Nairobi County. Well, the biggest part of the town is in Kiambu County, so I'll be giving you some statistics, some interesting numbers about this very area as we go around the town. In fact, I'm looking for a way to get into the interior part of the town. And as usual, we want to see how businesses are faring. And also the general status of the town. Is it new? Is it old? Is it thriving? Well, we will have all those answers in a few. Well, I can see this very road is in quite a sorry state. Although it is tarmacked, it seems like the tarmac is about 20 or more years old. And that tells you one thing, that this is an old town and it has been developed for years. You can even see the condition of these buildings and the shops. Most of them are quite old. But all in all, businesses are thriving. I can see butcheries, salon, hospitals, general shops. Almost every type of small businesses is represented here. And of course, by the look of things, this is the old town, Uthiru Old Town. So everything started here. You can easily tell by the U-shape, which is the common shape for most old shopping centers across the country. And I can see that although most plots have old buildings, some have new, although not that new, probably 10 years or older. And that is especially the story buildings, which brings a sense of modernity in the town. The yellow building on my right, that's a church. And of course, not the whole of it. Probably there are businesses on the ground floor, while the church is on the first floor. Well, the small town of Uthiru has a total population of 16,581 people, where 7,959 are men, while 8,618 are women. And so you can see the gender gap in the town is not that big. You have about 700 more women than men, which is just a normal distribution. And so there's no cause of alarm from that. And of course, in terms of the population density, the small town has 10,606 people living in a square kilometer. Remember, a square kilometer is about 250 acres of land, so you can do your maths. And of course, the town is not that big. In fact, it sits on an area of about 1.8 kilometers squared. And one thing I have noted about this small town is that a majority of people are young. You can see that from the faces that we are meeting. And that results from the fact that this is an education center. There are plenty of colleges and universities around, most of them being public owned. And of course, I'll be taking you to some of them. And so if you went to a college or a university around, just stick until the end. I might surprise you by actually visiting your beloved alma mater. Well, I want to go a few meters toward this direction, although the town does not extend this way. And this very road, which starts from this roundabout, goes by the name Naivasha Road. And it goes all the way to Kawangware. In fact, it is not that far from here. It's about 3 kilometers to Kawangware slums. I have a video coming soon about that area. While on my right is the International Livestock Research Institute of Kenya. I want to take you to one of the colleges in the area, which is only a few yards from here. But before we get there, let me give you a few statistics about this area. And let me start by giving you statistics for Kabete constituency, which is home to Uthiru ward. There are some interesting numbers about this area. Well, the constituency has a total population of 189,653 people, with a population density of 3,289 people living in a square kilometer. Well, the constituency is not that big. It's about 60.7 kilometers squared as far as area is concerned. And in terms of the population change, the population is growing at a rate of 3.6% per annum. Well, regarding the gender distribution, the constituency has 97,794 males, which constitute about 49% of the entire population, while the number of women is 101,845 people, which is about 51%. Well, I can see the number of males in the constituency is a bit low than that of their female counterpart. In fact, there's a 2% gap between the two genders, while in terms of the intersex, there are only 14 in the entire constituency. Well, we are about to get to our first institution, which is Kabete Technical Training Institute. It is on our right. But I'm told that the school changed its name to Kabete National Polytechnic a few years ago. Well, here is the institution. I want to take you right inside and give you a tour. In fact, I'm told that it is one of the few national polytechnics in the country. The school is also quite old. In fact, I'm told that it was initiated in 1924, so it's about 100 years currently. And history goes that although it was initiated as a technical school, it was later changed to a training camp for soldiers during the Second World War. Remember, by then the country was under the British colonial rule, and so when the Second World War broke out, that is around 1939, the British were forced by circumstances to convert the institution from a school to a military camp. Well, after the war ended, that was in 1945, the school changed to a primary school, then to a secondary school a few years later, and in 1972, it started offering technical education for 3-year courses in Nairobi. Well, I can see the school is such a beauty. It is well maintained, with some new structures here and there, although I've spotted some old buildings, but that was expected. Of course, remember the school was established in 1924, which is quite a long time ago, and I can bet that most of us were not yet born. Well, the school has a really nice field. It is well maintained. and the green is greening. And I can see some students are having a good time relaxing, while others are engaged in sport activities. Well, since we are in a learning institution, let me give you a few interesting numbers about the highest level of education attained in the area. Well, out of the 176,713 people who have attained the age of going to school, 15,827 have university degrees. On the other hand, 25,710 have attained middle level or technical and vocational training certificates, which in fact are the type of certificates offered here, while 59,559 people have secondary diplomas as the highest level of education attained. Well, 63,178 left school after attaining the primary certificate, while only 106 people indicated that they went through the adult basic education. Well, that's quite interesting. I never knew that Gumbaru school still existed. I've never seen one. And so, if you are going through the adult basic education, or there are such institutions in your area, you can share on the comment section below and we will appreciate. Well, I can see that this is the administration block where the school is run, and it seems like this is the oldest building in the school, and you can see it still look nice. It is well maintained. And as I plan to leave the school compound, let's quickly check at the real estate segment. And as I was coming here, I saw a few adverts online about land, and I realized that this is one of the most expensive areas around Nairobi. For instance, I saw 50 by 100, which is basically an eighth, going for 13 million Kenya shillings, which is about 120,000 US dollars. And I saw another one, which was a quarter of an acre, that is 100 by 100, going for 30 million Kenya shillings, which is about 250,000 US dollars. Well, in case if you are interested in the area and you don't have such an amount to buy land and build your own home, you have the option of renting, and houses are also a bit expensive as the high number of colleges and universities around makes the house demand goes high. And as the economic principle of demand states, the higher the demand, the higher the price, and vice versa. And so to get a good 2-bedroom apartment in the area, you need between 15,000 and 25,000 Kenya shillings. While to get a good studio apartment or a bed sitter, you will need between 7,000 and 10,000 Kenya shillings. Well, let me leave it at that. Thank you for watching this far. It is an honor. Kindly consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, Village to Town TV, a channel that is dedicated to continue showcasing beautiful villages, towns, and cities across the continent of Africa. Also like the video so that it can be recommended to as many people as possible. And also a special thanks to Team Village to Town TV, those who watch and like every video. I appreciate you. And also keep the conversation going on the comment section. Tell us what you think about this area. Thank you.